got a real friend, you don't need much. Just a place to sit and fish is more than enough. When you got a real pal, there's nothing too tough. Together it is better when you got your real bud. Real bud.
First things first here.
Beers.
Another successful podcast.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. We are live from Branson, Missouri.
Today we are being brought to you by...
I don't know.
I don't know either.
By not catching a lot of fish.
Not catching a lot of fish this trip, but we are streamside.
And under a helicopter.
We have the black helicopters overhead chasing us down for a mistaken identity kind of thing. But in any event, it's been a great couple days here down in Branson.
I'm sure they couldn't hear any of that because of that helicopter, but oh well.
Oh well. Well, it's
We're in Branson.
It's been a great couple of days in any event because we've had some beautiful weather, number one, for the 1st of November. And number
It's
two,
70 degrees and
70
sunny.
degrees.
No wind.
No wind at all. And
Perfect November day.
Yeah. And the fish the big browns are starting to move up now. So you don't catch a lot of them, but the ones that you do catch are very quality large fish.
There's one waving at us right now.
Which is right over there. We can see him pop up out of the stream that you can see. I think you can see it behind us.
There's one.
There he goes again.
Just taunting us.
Yeah, he's taunting us. So after the podcast, we're going to go over and we're going to catch this guy. And we'll bring him back and we'll show him to you. We may even have him mounted and put him in the TBB studio.
TBB.
TBB.
What is that?
Taylor's
Basement.
Broadcast.
Well, we're going to catch him and his whole family and mount them on our wall.
It's time to run them out of town.
Mm-hmm.
They've been around too long.
They've been, taunting us all weekend.
Yeah.
So how many fish have we caught today and yesterday combined?
Today, the fish have won. The fish are, John is 0, fish are 0, so
Taylor
no
has
catch.
1.
Yeah. Taylor caught
Yesterday.
1. I saw you catching that one this morning. You looked very nice with it.
Little guy.
Yeah. Great cast. Your casting has improved dramatically.
Thank you.
It's real pretty. So
But yesterday, John had the catch of the day.
we did. We caught unfortunately, we foul hooked it. I have to be very honest about this. But we foul hooked a big brown and brought it in. We netted it. And it was so large that it didn't even fit into Taylor's net. And so it started flopping around and jumping around. And all of a sudden, it just decided that he's had enough of this fun, so it's time to move on. So he just kind of jumped out of the net, and away he went.
As I was getting my camera to get a shot of it.
Yep, Taylor was up trying to get a camera so he can have it for posterity.
So we have no proof of this.
But the big fish had no intention of playing along. He didn't think that was a fun game to play.
No. So
And I don't blame him.
it was a good story.
Yeah. So anyway, we would have put him back anyway. So
What would you say he was? You thought 24 inches?
I think he was a good 24 inches. He was one of the biggest browns that I've ever caught.
Pretty guy.
Coming down here to Taneycomo. But you can catch a lot of rainbows that are in that 20 to 24 range. But browns of that quality are not that abundant down here, especially at that size.
I did my good deed of the day. I saw a fish just struggling on the rocks in the side of the water and put him back in, and I would like to say he swam away.
I was kind of wondering when I looked over on on the shore, seeing you give mouth to mouth to to a fish. I thought to
You
myself,
gotta do what you gotta do.
well, there he is. He's saving another life.
I've got a heart for the animal.
He has
John.
he has a heart for animals. Yeah.
But yeah, I wish he would have swam away, but he kind of just hung out. So we'll pretend that he survived.
We hope he survived. We hope he survived. We tried our best to make him to bring him back to life. So
But tried a new place for lunch today.
we did.
Want to give the plug?
It's going to be a good plug too. And if anyone's down in Branson area, you might go stop by Area 71. It's a new place on, I forget the name of the highway that we come into. It's right below. It's on the west side of the dam. It took the spot of the old Parkview Lodge Motel that many of you might know or may not know, but. In any event, it's a wonderful place. Great people in there. Nice, very, very nice people. We had a great hamburger. I thought the hamburgers were very, very good. How about you?
It was good. They call it the best damn hamburger.
And how do they spell dam?
D-A-M.
D-A-M.
No censor needed.
Yep.
My mom's watching.
Right.
So it was good. Talked to the general manager.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to give us a listen.
Clint.
John likes to tell everybody that he meets that we have a podcast.
Well, I do, because it's fun, because then they kind of open up a little bit. You know, they they wouldn't open up to some old guy walking up to him going, "Hey, how you doing today?" But if you say, "Hey, my buddy and I are doing a podcast," they kind of open up a bit and say, "Oh, okay, yeah, maybe I can get some free advertising or something out of this."
To all 50 listeners of the Real Buds podcast.
Well, that's okay. We're on the upward swing. You can see it going up and up.
I'm just proud when you call it a podcast to them and not an iPod. You tend to call them
Usually
iPod.
I call it an iPod. Well, you know, iPod, iCast,
iCast good.
yeah, right.
iCast is improving.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
So
Anyway, if you get a chance to come down to Branson, be sure and stop at Area 71. And Clint is the general manager in there. Tell him you saw him or heard from us on the podcast, and just to say hi. Nice people in
they
there.
got a nice restaurant. They have a bar inside and outside.
Right.
2 bars outside. A good view of the Ozark Mountains.
Yep.
They're building a gambling center in the basement.
Right. They're doing a gambling center in the lower level, and they also have live music during the summertime. They just recently closed that because of the cold weather, but they do have a music venue there on the weekends. So come on down and visit those guys.
Yeah. And then on the way here to record this, you ran into your friend, Carolyn.
Ran into Carolyn from
River Run Outfitters.
River Run Outfitters. She and Dan have been down here for 35 or 40 years, and she is just an exceptional person. She learned a lot of her things from one of my favorite people by the name of Ray Finke, who unfortunately has passed away. He was kind of my mentor in the fly fishing area.
How'd she know him?
I knew Ray.
How did she know Ray?
How did she know him? She took his class on how to build fly rods, which I always thought would be kind of fun to take a class from Ray to do that, but never got around to it. But anyway, we ran into Carolyn, and so if you're ever down here and if you need flies or if you need anything fishing related, just go in and stop in and see the River Run Outfitters.
John walked by her and said, "Hey, Carolyn, my friend Taylor and I have a podcast. Do you care if we mention you in it?" And she said, "Is it good or bad?" She said, "I don't care if it's good, you can do it." But
yeah, we always do good. If we ask you, we know it's going to be good.
my favorite part about the store is the coffee they have there. I don't drink it, but it smells like, would you say it's a hazelnut?
They have a hazelnut coffee in there that's very good.
It smells very good.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
We've got a good cat in there.
Nice cat. Roams around. He kind of runs the place.
Yeah.
And
good flies.
Good flies. A great selection of flies. And they have all Orvis equipment. So if you ever need anything from Orvis, they certainly have it. And they have very competitive pricing, so you can't go wrong.
So how else would you say this trip is going?
I've been enjoying it because even though we're not catching a lot of fish, it's just, I've been kind of rekindling a lot of things that I've been playing with over the years. And that is, which fly do you use for this? Where do you need to go, or how do I switch it up from here to there? I've probably gone through a dozen flies, just experimenting again. And then, of course, when I spoke with Carolyn, she goes, "Oh, here, try this one, and that should work." And there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, the first cast, I'm going to throw it in there with the fly that Carolyn recommended, and sure enough, I'll catch a fish. So
Your Carolyn voice is the same as your Mary Alice voice. Did you know that?
Pardon me?
Your Carolyn impression, it's the same as your impression for your wife.
No, I don't think so. I don't do
It
any
sounded pretty
impressions
spot
of
on.
my wife. That's dangerous.
All right.
Yeah. Do you do any impressions of your wife?
Um,
Speaking of wives?
no. Just the ones
That's
we
a
talked
very
about.
safe answer. That's a very good answer. If you want to live to be 35, yeah.
So, got down here late Thursday night. A little later than you would have liked. You were waiting on me to finish packing.
That's okay.
You were giving me the scowl. When are we going to leave? When are we going to leave? And in my rush, I forgot to bring pants. So, brought one good
Please
pair of
explain
jeans.
to the audience here what you mean by pants.
So I've been wearing nothing underneath my waders the entire weekend. I forgot to bring anything other than one pair of jeans.
Please describe that.
I
you need to
only brought one
elaborate.
pair of jeans to wear out for dinner and all that, nice occasions. Didn't want to wear them under my waders, so went to Belk yesterday and bought the most hideous pair of fishing pants. They were maybe linen, not the most ideal for wearing underneath waders. And they had
But
fishing lures.
they had all these fishing lures all over them, which made it kind of neat,
And our new friend at Area 71, we stopped in to get some waters and stuff, and she said, "Nice pants. There's something else." And that was what I was going for. So
You fashion maven, you.
I wore them yesterday and quickly realized that I had a leak in my waders. So glad I didn't wear the jeans under them. So today I'm going full shorts. Would have done a pant reveal on the podcast, but we're gonna save that for the next time.
Okay, we can save that for future ones.
So how long have you been coming down to Branson for? You've been coming down for...
I've been coming down here for probably 40 years, maybe 45 years, with just a variety of buddies, and it's just been a lot of fun. It's always been fun coming down here. It is getting more crowded. There's no question about it. As fly fishing increases in popularity, you find a lot more people on the stream these days. Looking at the stream right now, it looks pretty deserted, which is kind of nice for Taylor and I, because as soon as the podcast is over, we're going to certainly jump in and not jump in, but we'll get in.
Cannonball!
No cannonballs today, but we'll get in the water and see if we can't catch some fish.
We're glad that it's empty. Someone's watching us. There's no one around to see us do this. Don't have to hear you talk about your iPod to another stranger. So, makes me feel better.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a friend of yours tomorrow. Is that right?
We are. We're going to stop by and see an old buddy of mine who has worked at Bass Pro Shop for many, many, many years. His name is, we call him Mr. Steve. But Steve's been working with Bass Pro for years and years, and fly fishing and in their boating department and stuff like that.
Did he retire?
Steve is not retired. He's still working.
I thought you said he was about to retire.
I think he's about to retire, but I have not gotten confirmation that he has retired. Just
Well, he's
yet.
one day closer to retiring if he's
He
not.
is. He's one day closer, no question about that. But he had a pacemaker put in this week, and so he's been kind of on
Heard it here
on the
first.
mend, and so to speak. So we're going to stop by and see Steve on Sunday morning, have breakfast with him on our way before we go back to KC.
Did you quit the tradition of stopping by your favorite cobbler restaurant on the way back from Cutie Pie?
We did because it was a request by Cutie Pie. She appreciates the cobbler that we always used to get her. We started out by getting her a piece of peach pie every time we went on a fishing trip. On the way home, I'd always stop and get her a piece of peach pie because she likes peach pie. And it's some of the best that she said she's ever had. But now that she's more conscious of what she eats and all of that sort of thing, she asked me not to bring so much sugary stuff into the house. So unfortunately, the tradition of getting peach pie has gone by the wayside. Rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Well, you said her friend said that you mentioned a certain word on the podcast in episode 1 that you could have plugged there, but
Yeah.
not going to say that anymore.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not saying
John got some flack.
Johnny doesn't make mistakes twice.
We busted out the censor for episode 7 or 8, and would have had to put it in there if you would have said that.
I
word.
don't know.
So
I don't know.
we won't go there.
Don't know.
But,
So how are you doing? How's the trip going for you?
You know, it's good. Not catching many fish, but just being in a cool place with your best bud is always fun. Had a couple cold beverages. It's always nice. Met some friends on our dock at the motel,
We did.
the lodge last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Met a pilot, a commercial pilot,
Mm-hmm.
and
His brother-in-law, which is a policeman for
St. Louis Police Department
St. Louis Police Department.
from Ireland.
Yeah.
You connected with him right away.
Yeah.
Last name Murphy. And
Murphy.
are you from Ireland? He had a nice accent to go with it. So
Every time we go somewhere, we always meet new friends, and it's always been sort of a staple of mine to ask questions of people, or just walk up and say hello and all of that kind. It's just kind of my nature, I guess. But in any event, you always meet new friends, and you always kind of have a really good time just sitting and schmoozing with them and talking about what they do and how they do it and all that kind of stuff. And it's always fun especially when you go on a trip.
I think my favorite part of the evening was when the dad, what'd you say, 60s, 70s maybe? Early
I
70s?
think he was 75. He said.
And he was on the phone with his daughter, put his phone in his back pocket and said, "I hate these dang things. I hate technology." And you could hear from his back pocket his daughter say, "I'm still here."
I can hear you, Dad.
Pulls out his phone and couldn't hang it up. Reminded me of you a little bit.
Yeah.
Got a
Oh
few,
yeah, I'm the same way.
I got a few pocket dials from you last week.
Yeah, I'm not good at pocket. I'm very good at pocket dialing, because when I hit end on something, I generally just take my phone and slip it in my pocket
And you don't lock
instead of pushing the little thing on the side.
Should we discuss our
Cancel.
outfits? We always make a point to discuss our fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first episodes, I hope the camera's still recording. I thought I heard something. First episode, we talked about your boots. You have those this week. Your Tacovas, but
Not
so
these.
people who are not familiar with fly fishing, would you like to describe your outfit?
Well, what I have on here is my fly vest, which has all my fly boxes and all the stuff that you need for fly fishing. And then you have your waders, and then you have your boots, your waterproof boots. So,
In every trip, you say you're going to downsize the weight of your vest.
right.
Take some stuff out you don't use anymore. And every trip, it gets a little bit heavier than the last trip.
It does, because I inevitably will stop by a fly shop, and I believe in supporting the local people. So every time we go on a fishing trip, I always try and stop in and at least buy one or two things, and so that always seems to wind up in the fly vest, and there adds another pound or two. So I think my fly vest now is somewhere roughly in the neighborhood of 55 to 60 pounds.
Around there.
So yeah, we got to lighten that up.
Yeah, it's always the most frustrating part of the trip is when you go into one of the fly shops and they say, "This week we recommend these 4 things that you can't go wrong with. The fish are hitting on them, they love them." And then you buy those 4 things and you can't get them to work.
No, they'd never work. Well, I shouldn't say that, because a lot of times the people down here are very good about being very honest with you. If they're not hitting on a particular fly, they'll tell you, and they'll let you know, because they want you to come back, and they want they want the business, and they want you to come back, and so they're always generally very upfront with you and gives you a good idea of what you need to use or how to use it if you ask them.
Yeah. And these pants are not very flattering. They get a lot of air in them, so this is all air, much slimmer, So when you sit down, it kind of poofs up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, your waders are really designed to be waterproof, to keep all the water away from you, and
mine are failing.
well, you need to have them look at, because you can figure that out real quick on where the hole is. Which
Got them repaired once.
Huh?
Got them repaired once, and they're apparently still having issues.
Well, you can send them back.
I hope Mary Alice is watching this, because you can clearly see that you've been wearing your sunscreen.
Oh, I've sunscreen everywhere, because
You've been
you can tell by
reapplying?
I have white blotchy things all over my face, and I don't mind.
You look like a stereotypical white father on a vacation with his family
Well,
at the beach.
Little kids walk by and go, "Oh, mommy, what's wrong with that man?" His skin's turning white.
He's a white walker.
Yeah.
Well, cool. You forgot your phone in the car, but we have
did.
some Branson fun
We have
facts.
Branson fun facts for the fun fact station or fun fact part of our podcast. What are they, Taylor?
Let's
hear
find
it.
them.
You do the fun facts and I'll drink a beer.
All right. Well, I memorized a couple of them. I believe one was Branson has more theaters and theater seating than Broadway in New York. So, with all the theaters in Branson, they have, I think it's at 60,000 seats, which is more.
That's kind of an amazing fact when you think about it, because you think of New York and all the theaters that they have on Broadway, and that's just amazing to me that Branson, Missouri, of all places, have more theaters and more seating.
There's more than 50 theaters and 60,000 theater seats.
Wow, that's amazing.
Branson is home to the Ozarks' first distillery since Prohibition.
Which one is that?
Copper Run.
Oh, really? Interesting.
The Beverly Hillbillies filmed 5 episodes in Branson.
Oh, they did.
Never watched that. Branson's a golfer's paradise.
They do have a lot of nice golf courses here. I've played a number of them, and they are nice. They're nice courses.
This is my my favorite fact. Table Rock Lake offers more shoreline than many beaches. Oh, it's a bee. I don't like this. Somewhere I saw that has almost as much shoreline as the state of California does total. Believe that?
Now, that's an interesting fact. We'll have to double check that one.
It was on there. And lastly, Branson has over 9 million visitors each year, but only 10,000 residents. Wow.
That's an amazing figure. That's an amazing stat, in my opinion, in my mind.
I wonder how they gauge that.
Probably by the hotel rentals, maybe. Motel rentals. Motel car rentals, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but how do you know
They may have something to deal with that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to gauge if you're renting a car but not a hotel, or you do both, or whatever. It's hard to.
Yeah, that'd be kind of difficult to do.
Anyway, we'll find that person, talk to them.
We'll scope that out. We'll check it out.
We have lots of sounds here. We have police cars.
Yeah, we hear some police cars all of a sudden.
We have fish.
Did you pay for our lunch, or did we just kind of drive off?
That was a good story.
What, to drive off?
Went to, what was that called? Jovito's?
Jovito's. No.
Not Jovito's.
We went to...
oh, gosh. Anyway, we went to this restaurant. Nice Italian restaurant. Got a drink at a bar. Mm-hmm. At the bar there. I thought John paid. John thought I paid. We both walked out. And this big Italian man comes out chasing after us. Hey, you didn't pay. So, I almost went to jail that night.
No, we didn't go to jail. We walked away with all our limbs intact, and they were very understanding of the fact that we both went, "Hey, we're sorry," and we also gave them a pretty good tip too. So,
makes up for it.
Yep, hopefully make up for it. So,
we have 6 minutes left until my camera dies, I believe. Not dies, but it only can record 30-second or 30-minute clips. So. We got 5-some minutes left. What else you want to talk about? Got any favorite Branson memories fishing down here for all those years?
There's just the biggest rainbow I ever caught out of here was
a trout.
Rainbow trout was down here, and it was very close to that 24-inch brown that we landed yesterday, but. In any event, that was a real exciting time. That was when I first started fly fishing, and I had just won a Sage 4-weight rod from the fly club that I belonged to at the time, and it was donated by K&K Fly Fishers, and it's the first time I've had the opportunity to use it. And lo and behold, you catch a beautiful fish like that in the size.
The first time you used it, you caught that fish?
It was the first time I used it, yeah.
You probably thought that
I
this
thought,
was
oh,
easy.
the fishing gods are upon me. They smiled at me for that day.
You probably thought the whole fly fishing thing would be simple. And
Oh, I thought it was just going to be
You're
a
catching
snap.
this every time?
We're going to do this every time.
So did your name in a record book somewhere or anything?
They did. They recorded it at somewhere in the conservation department or something. So it's in the books.
I really wish I would have gotten a picture of that one yesterday you got.
Yeah, that was a beautiful fish. That really was. But
I mean, it does
he
feel-
wasn't ready to come home yet. He wasn't. I believe in that karma of, the animals will come to you if you need them. So.
And you needed that.
Huh?
You really needed that.
I needed that for the catching and the bragging rights of the brown trout. But we did net him, so technically we did catch him. So we can technically say that we caught a 24-inch brown trout.
It does feel a little different when you foul hook them, but if you were trying to feed your family, you'd still be bringing home the same size fish, regardless of how you
bringing
caught
home
it.
dinner, and they seem to fight real hard when you foul hook them. What we mean by foul hook is normally you will hook a fish right in the lip, which is exactly where you want to be. But a lot of times, if the hook will sometimes get caught on their side or by their fins or something like that, and that's how you bring them in, that's what they consider to be a foul hook, or they call it a foul hook.
Yeah, you mentioned before to me, you used to catch and keep fish.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, you used to always catch and release. Then Mary Al said, why do you never bring any fish home? You do all this stuff. It's like me going shopping but never buying anything. So you said one trip you brought back a cooler full of fish.
I did. I brought back a whole sack full of trout from one of our South Dakota trips and put it in the freezer.
How'd that go?
Oh, it didn't go over well at all.
So John's back to catch and release for good now.
Yeah, so now she understands why we do catch and release.
But that would have been a pretty one to have mounted somewhere.
That's what?
That one you caught yesterday would have been a pretty one to mount somewhere to bring back to her.
I wouldn't have done that. I would have put it back.
But she would have been very impressed.
Yeah, it was a nice fish. It was a nice fish.
Any closing remarks?
No, but if you get a chance, come on down to Branson.
Tell them John and Taylor sent you.
John and Taylor sent you, and stop by and see the people at River Run.
In Area 71.
And Area 71. I think they will appreciate you.
And Trout Hollow Lodge always treats us nice.
Trout Hollow Lodge always treats us nice. We've been coming here for years and years, and they've always treated us very nice.
What other discounts can we get?
What other discounts?
Yeah.
We don't get any discounts.
Well, we're going to try to once we
they
get
make
these.
us overpay, actually. Oh, it's those two again. Well, better up at 20%.
Well, someone might have gotten murdered just now.
If you heard that in the background. I don't think somebody's gotten murdered. But
We'll let you know on the next episode.
Yeah, next episode we'll give you an update on the yell.
Cool. Well, anything else?
That's all I got.
Good fun, John.
All right. Thanks, bud. Always good.
See you next week.
See ya.